Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
G'day, Moss. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you, my friend?
Oh, fantastic. Good to be alive.
I bet it
Oh,
is. I bet it is good to be alive.
oh, man. How is
What's
everybody
your
in
week?
chat? We're getting a few people start coming in now. Um, well, we're streaming to both channels too, so it should be quite active.
Yeah.
A little bit of a hot topic, so that's
Oh,
cool.
very hot.
Wow, let's see. I'll quickly who we got in here. We'll have a quick run through. Um, where are we? There we go. My lighting's messed up for some reason. It seems brighter than normal.
Looks all right to me, mate. A little bit of wash, but I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit pale, but anyway.
I've got to say, well, yeah, definitely.
um, yeah, so Little History came in. Hello, mate. Welcome. You're up there early. Hobby Time's in there. Jeff Donahue's there. Gary. Hello, Gary. I'm not going to try and keep everybody's names on the screen. It'll be too hard. Paul Price is there. Hello again. I had a visit from Paul Price over at my place yesterday, along with Samantha. Good to see you guys. I gave away the last of all my modelling equipment that I won't be taking away with me. Gary's there. Daniel Gopher Painting. Craig's there. Hello, mate. James Boldly Go, as usual. Mate. Gosh, going down. Wayne Welly is there. Boston Buds must be one of yours. G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
I can see the difference there with the little emblem.
The little emblem, yeah.
Actuals model kit. G'day, buddy. Craig's there. I said hello. I think I've caught up already. Good. That'll do. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, my next last stream, well, my next stream won't be next week because that'll be the day before I fly out of the country. I will be doing another live stream from Thailand, but I don't know if it will be at my usual time because right now in Thailand it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm not that keen to be getting up at that time of the morning to do this. Of course, I can't leave it too late to do, otherwise all my friends in the UK will be asleep. It'll be too late. So it's going to make things a bit more difficult than they already are trying to work out the times. My live streams may change to a weekend, possibly a Saturday, where less people are working and more people are maybe, up a bit later or whatever, and I can still get USA and UK on together and keep everybody happy. What else have I got to news? I'll give some brief news. So for those who don't know, there may be some who do. I've mentioned it in other streams, and that is that I had a bit of an accident last week. So straight after the live stream I did last Friday, as I was mentioning, it was a really nice day and I was going to go to the beach, and I did. So I went down to the beach and it was nice. Went for a quick swim, got the towel, laying down on the sand, laid out there, enjoying soaking up all that vitamin C, I think it is, or B, I don't know, sunlight. And for about an hour, and then got up. I was a bit sore in the back. Lower back was a bit sore. I thought, when you lie on the beach, I don't know if you do that in the UK, but we have sand here, and sometimes it can get uneven, and I think it was like sticking up in my back a little bit when I was lying there. So it was sore back. So I got on my motorbike, rode back home, started to get a little bit more sore. It's happened before, so I didn't worry too much about it. Then I couldn't. I'm getting a bit of a sore chest and couldn't breathe too well. I thought, this is no good. So I sat down and, relaxed a bit, and then it was getting a little bit worse. And I thought, right. So I took a couple of Panadol. That would hurt. That would help because it was painful to breathe in. I thought, I must have done something. So I anyway, it got to the point after a couple of hours where it was getting bad. I was only taking in about, I'd say about 30-40% of the oxygen I needed. And it was getting, I was starting to get worried, and it was not getting better, and the pain was getting worse. That was stopping me from inhaling. So I jumped on the motorbike, rode to the hospital, which I shouldn't have done really. I should have called an ambulance or got someone to take me. But by the time I got to the hospital, got to emergency, at that point I thought I was having a heart attack. Chest pain, can't breathe. I guess that's what a heart attack is. Got to the window. I was struggling for air at that point. I was sweating. I was not good. And they took me straight in and then wired me up to the machine and doing all the tests and pumping the morphine into me and all the rest of it. And at that point, I was probably getting in about 15% of the air I needed in my body, in my inhaling. And I just couldn't. I couldn't breathe. And I was almost going unconscious. I had nurses everywhere, doctors everywhere, trying to figure out what it is. They got me through in to get a CAT X-ray after they did an ultrasound, and that revealed that it was a blood clot in my lung, pulmonary embolism they call it, and it had gone through my heart and then pumped straight into my lung. I don't know whether it was left or right, and stopped me breathing. So yeah, it was very, very serious for about an hour there. Once they knew what it was, because it took an hour for them to get the results of that scan. And in that time, I'm just struggling to breathe the whole time and panicking, because that's what happens. And then throwing up, and just, it was all going wrong. And the morphine was not working. And I knew that if the pain got any worse, I could breathe even less. So, and the nurse just constantly telling me, just relax, you're in the right place. If things escalate more, nothing to worry about. We've got procedures, you'll be fine and all this. And I'm like, okay, so I'm relaxing. But so anyway, they gave me the treatment to help break down this clot and whatever else they had to do. And then I stayed there overnight. By about 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 in the morning, I could finally get some sleep. The pain had gone. And then I was okay the next day, and I got sent home late the next morning. So scary stuff.
It's very scary.
But it's all good. It's all good. I'm still here. Nothing's going to stop me from moving to Thailand. Yes, that's not far off now, on the 17th. So yeah,
you're still with us.
Still, yeah. I've had about 6 visits to the hospital in the last 12 months. And the previous years before that, mate, I wouldn't even catch a cold. So
yeah, I can guess so.
That's the end of it, I hope.
Definitely.
Anyway, so what are we talking about today? Today I thought I'd pump up a subject of the cost of modelling, and is it going up too much compared to the cost of living, and is it becoming something that people are going off and heading to other styles of model building, going the Gundam way or RC stuff, where you can just buy the thing pretty much built and use it instead of sitting on the shelf? Or what about aftermarket products and stuff like that? Are they all getting a bit expensive, where you could pay 2 or 3 times what you paid for your model in aftermarket stuff, I don't know. Like, I don't have all the years experience of modeling to make a comparison, but someone like you, Moss, who's been doing a lot longer, do you think it's getting too much, getting too expensive?
I think the whole scale modeling realm is a different landscape to what it was 10, 15 years ago to what it is now. If you talk to those who've been doing the hobby for 15 to 20 years, the most expensive thing is the paint. What was a pot of paint? £1.50, and now you're looking at £3 or £4. And it is and we've got the the range of paint as well. You can go from enamel to acrylic to alcoholic acrylics. You can go to lacquer paints. It's you know, and also there's a real need that what you buy the kit for doesn't necessarily mean that's what you've paid for it, because many of us will buy aftermarket parts, different decals, resin, photo etch, and you know, and actually a part, because of the where we are now, we're used to not going down the local shop to buy a model kit. We get it shipped to us, and the average price of getting that kit to us is about, well, £4.50, or will that be $6 in Australian dollars? Like, you know, yeah, it's you know, we you can buy cheap airbrushes for about 20-30, or like me, you can spend £200 on your airbrush. You can pay for a compressor without a tank for about £60. But if you want a tank, you're looking at about 100. You know, so there's all these things that have come in, but ultimately, I'm pretty much satisfied with pricing of models at the moment.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
outrageous pricing on some kits, proper outrageous. But at the end of the day, I model to my budget anyway. If I think, oh, I've got a spare 25 quid, I might buy this. And the problem you got is that you end up with a stash that's probably worth 5 times more than all the equipment and paint you've got in the house to build the things, you know, because you're never going to get around to building them all. That's the problem you have. You know, my stash was nearly up to 400, 450, but I've been managed to sell quite a lot of them off. You know, we're in a different time. Brexit's happened. Pricing's going up throughout the models, but also you got to look at the outside factor. You know, minimum wage is going up. Diesel's going up, which is, you know, it's not as much as it was during, you know, before COVID at £1.99 a litre. It's down about the 150 litre mark here. But at the end of the day, these companies have got to make money. The price of getting tooling done is getting more expensive in China. Shipping it across is getting more expensive. You know, I wouldn't doubt that with all that's going on, you know, with boats being hijacked and stuff, it's going to cost a lot more to get the product away. And then, you know, I think that, you know, it could be an investment for some of these companies to go back to produce it in-house in the country, you know. There's all sorts of questions to add, you know, but I still think the pricing for Airfix this year was pretty good. I think some of Revell's pricing's pretty good. Mini Art is up there for being good price, good value for money, but it depends on what you really want. You know, 1/32 scale, what's that now? About 60 quid. 124, if you're looking at around 180, about 80 quid. Tanks, 20-30 pounds for tanks. Tamiya's going up. We've seen it. Tamiya's definitely going up. But I don't think every hobby has an expense, whether you do fishing, whether you do gardening, whether your hobby is rock climbing. You know, I think everyone's seeing a price increase in their equipment, but you cut your cloth accordingly at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah. And I guess it can be expensive if you make it expensive too. And a lot of it up to your own skill level too. Not everybody's going to go buy all the aftermarket for the tank they've just bought to build. You know, not everyone's going to go and spend all that extra money on all the photo etch and extra resin and stuff like that. I think that's a niche market. You know, I saw Nigel do a review on, I think it's called Ennies, the products, where they do all the housing, all the little piping and stuff. They're good for Formula One cars and cockpit stuff, all that little detail. And think, all right, I mean, I looked at the prices on that and it looked pretty expensive stuff, but it's not something that, I mean, if someone goes out and buys an aircraft model, and then what percentage would actually go to the trouble of getting that aftermarket cockpit stuff? Not much. So, you know, if you're going to go into the business of producing aftermarket products, I guess you have to make it a decent price to make it worth your while. You know?
Yeah, most definitely.
Look at the Titanic and all the options you get there of all the. You almost replace what the kit comes with all the products available for that. So I don't know.
Like we were discussing before, you know, you cut your cloth accordingly, and I think that's the only way to get around it, really.
Yeah.
And you know, I was just thinking then that there's been a lot of people saying or mentioning to me that the starter sets or the model sets or kits that come with the paints and the glue seem to be on the rise, because you're getting the paint that you need, basically, and you're getting the model, and not many model kits are over £20. So if you do fancy building a kit and you don't want to go to the expense of buying 6 or 7 different paints from Tamiya or enamel paints or pots of paints or dropper bottles even, you can just go on and grab a starter set and away you go for under 20 quid.
Yeah, but that paint's using the hairy stick, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
I don't know. If you've been doing it for a long time and you've got your airbrush and stuff, you're not really going to. I don't know. Are you just as happy to grab a paintbrush and paint your aircraft or your car?
I know people that have been airbrushing the Humbrol acrylics, and the results are not bad. They're not bad. They're not, they're not forgiving.
No,
definitely not. But I've just heard people say, the other day I bought myself a little starter set from Airfix, and I've just gone and used the the paint that comes in it. So, as I said, I think if you've been in the game a long time, you basically come to a point where you have everything that you need, and then you end up buying models. That's once you get your first, I think the most expensive bit will be getting your compressor and the airbrush.
Yeah,
that will be the, and also a booth as well, a spraying booth that has an extraction to it. So for £500 or £600, that's going to be the most expensive part of the hobby, unless you want to go down the route of buying really expensive sprue cutters. Now, I do like God Hand. I do like a decent sprue cutter, but you can use a cheap ass sprue cutter. You just got to then use, a sanding stick just to finish it off. So that's the difference, really. Snip or snip, and really having to whack in it.
I literally use toenail clippers. Literally,
I know people who do,
and I've only been doing this for 3 years, so. And the other thing too is when you start out, you see someone build a model and you go, wow, I want to build that. Well, first of all, if you want to airbrush, that's a big investment, airbrush and compressor and spray booth, for something that you might decide, oh, this isn't for me, or that, not so keen on this. You got to make that investment if you want to. If you want to get into the hobby, I think it's probably always has been hard for younger new people to get into when they don't have the gear that they need to build that stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, you've got all these click together snap kits and stuff like that where parts are already painted up. You really don't need to do anything. You just clip them all together and build it all together. It's like a Lego in plastic. Styrene.
Yeah.
So this is where Lego comes in as a big popular thing, and that's becoming huge because you don't need anything to build the kit, although you do get what you get out of it.
But then again, the price of Lego can be astronomical. Look at the Death Star, look at the destroyers, look at, it's, that Concorde was 200 nicker, wasn't it? You know what I mean? But it was a good kit, But, if I always say to people, just learn your craft.
Yeah.
The only thing I think they need to do is get rid of that poly cement in those starter sets. Give them a decent brushing and a
Oh
little
yeah.
vial.
Yeah.
But other than that, everyone's I it's not modeling isn't expensive for me now, except for if I need to buy a kit. I've got everything I need. Oh, I will tell a lie. I've spent more on the masking sets on some of these kits than I have on the actual kit itself.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the hairy stick isn't something to be shied away from.
No.
And sometimes it's good to go back to it. I've done a few kits with just me brush, with the brush that comes in the pack. And like I
Yeah.
said, the brush you get in the home, those humble brushes are a good all rounder. They're a good general purpose hairy stick, to be fair. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the pricing of modeling, the price of models will go up. And as I was saying, people were saying that, well, Airfix are getting a bit more expensive, but some of the decal sheets are just as expensive as the plastic that's inside the box.
Yeah.
So you're not just paying for the kit, you're paying for a decent set of decals as well. That 99.1% of the time won't fail you. I've only ever had one decal sheet that's failed on me from Cartograph, and that was in that Ford GT. And I bought another kit just to get the decals, and they disintegrated as well. So, but look at the comments. So a lot of people are saying exactly the same. It's the hobby is, it comes to a point when you have all the tools you need. Actually, you have more tools than you'll ever need or ever use.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for somebody, if you want to get into airbrushing but can't afford a compressor and an airbrush, go down the aerosol route and get yourself a couple of cans.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. But yeah. A lot of people are saying that a lot of the aftermarket stuff can be, and you got a choice of going how far you want to go with the kits. Yeah. Shipping's a thing too, particularly here in Australia.
Yeah.
If we can't buy it locally, it's beyond. It's no point. And then of course the retailers online here in Australia, they've had to pay the extra for the shipping to get it all in as well.
Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier, there's no manufacturers in Australia. We just don't have the population for them to be worthwhile basing themselves down here. This is why people go. This is why they go offshore, because it's cheaper to produce the products.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
then you've got to be careful. The quality control drops off too, as I've found with some of the Revel kits. Revel kits are just had a few problems with those parts in there. Although their customer service is good,
Yeah.
so that's okay. But, yeah. But, oh, we got a few going in chat here. What's this?
Yeah. Reaper 55 made a good comment there. The paint is the biggest outlay. See, you're fortunate because you've got outlaw paints on your doorstep now. You can't build plastic, but you can create a bloody good paint. So, it's and that paint, I totally get what the people are saying. But also you kind of get into the pattern of when you buy a paint. For instance, I don't have many Japanese colors in my paint range because I don't really build Japanese planes. But I've got a lot of greys, a lot of blues, a lot of blacks. I've got a fair few yellows, a numerous amount of greens, cockpit green, olive drab. You can go through the whole range of greens that I've got because that's where the money's at. Like, you get into that mindset. And you tend to buy kits that that you have got the paint to do it. And also a pot of paint will last you 3 or 4 models if you look after it. But that's a good shout by James Carnahan there. I think that at entry level it's quite easy, economical to start, is when you want to get accurate with photo references for specific airframes, that it starts to become expensive aftermarket, and that's quite true. But I don't care for all that. I basically build out of the box, and I understand that competitions, people will do, everything and anything to win that prize. But there's categories at model shows that are out of the box, and they're the ones I like looking at the most because they've had to deal with what's inside the box.
Yeah.
And is there such a thing as the most accurate model? I don't think there is.
Well, what is it? It's in the eye of the beholder, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
99.4% of all mistakes are only seen by the modeler who made it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's right. That's like doing all the interior work on things that you're just going to cover up and not see. You've done it. You've spent all that time putting all that in there, but
yeah,
it's. I guess it's also you personally getting value for money out of it. Like you go and build a tank or even a ship that could take months to build. All right, it may have cost you quite a few $100s to build to get that ship, but you're going to get a lot of enjoyment and a lot of work out of that. So, to have that to work on something for such a long period of time, I find it's worth it. I mean, Yamato over there is probably the most expensive thing I've ever built, and that was without some of the extra aftermarket photo etch and things I could have got for it, which cost nearly as much as the model again.
Yeah.
But I got like 4-5 months out of enjoyment building it. So
what's the price of enjoyment? That's the query is, I know people who pay £60-70 for a round of golf, and they've spent £1,000 on their clubs. That your hobby is exactly what it is. Fishing, I did a Substack about years ago when we used to turn up with a bit of line and we used to use old nuts to make the weights, and fish for that. And then my friend came along and he was always minted. His mum and dad used to spend fortunes on him. He turned up with every single bit of fishing equipment you could see, and he didn't even bother in the end. He got tired of waiting he thought he could catch everything. In the end, he didn't. We used to call him Dosh because he used to have money in his pocket all the time. And we were there, we were catching, fish, bream and all that. And he ended up chucking, he got given this lovely penknife and was chucking it in the tree while we were there fishing. We buggered off home. But, as I said, you just start slowly moving on. And, what's the hobby cost to you? What does what does it mean? So
I can remember, like, I gave my son a little one of those starter kits of an aircraft to build. He'd never built a model before in his life. I gave it to him. This was about 2 years ago, and I thought, oh yeah, he'll just put that in the bottom of the cupboard, won't bother.
Yeah.
But he ended up putting it together and brush painted it and all the rest, and showed me that, and I was quite impressed. I thought, oh well, there you go, spark some interest. So
I think people have got to realize is that over the past, I'm going to say 10 years, if you look at I'm just because, as you know, I build Airfix. The quality from Airfix has quadrupled. Their tooling's better, the plastic's nice, the details right. It's pretty accurate. There's been a ton of research put behind these bits, these kits, So you've got the quality, 4 times the quality in the kits you buy now. Should you expect 4 times the price? I look at it and because we've had this debate will rage on. And it will always be that this debate will always be at the back end of any scale modelers chat. We will tutter at the pricing. I will tut at old kits being remarketed. I'm talking old, say anything pre 2000. So
Yeah.
anything 20 years or older. And they've reboxed it with a book and everything, and they say this is going to be 35 quid. I do shudder at that.
Yeah, and they do nice new box art, and
Yeah.
they might put a new on it or something,
Mm.
but the plastic's not new,
That's it. The Revell's new range, my first diorama, it's a new range. Of course, it's a new range, but the plastic is 1980s Matchbox, maybe even 1970s.
See,
I think, and that's why, if there's any bit of advice I'll give to a scale modeler, is always have scale mates on your phone.
oh, for sure. Yes.
And you can just look at the code on the side of a box because it
Yeah.
picks up the code as well.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish that they would do is actually add the barcodes. That would be handy. Scan it in, boom, and it will come up which one you've got.
Oh,
And
exactly.
then look at the history of that kit.
Yeah.
But anything over £30 from the likes of Tamiya, Airfix, whatnot, are pretty newish kits. And also is what's in the kit as well. If there's photo etch in the kit, you're looking at an extra tenner because it's going to cost them a tenner to put it in the box.
Yeah.
So it depends what you want to do. And
I think you need to research as well. Like you bring up there's the website there, Scalemates. More people need to know about that, because when you walk into a hobby shop, and you've got kids and you want to get them in to buy a model or just yourself, you really need to know what's in that box. A lot of the cases, you may not be able to open the box and have a look at the plastic and see the condition of it and all that. Particularly if you're shopping online, well, you're not going to see much at all. And you can be quite disappointed when you go and buy something and then you look at it and go, oh, it looks beautiful on the cover and it's got new printed across it and it looks great. And then you realize the only thing new in there is the decals, It's like, yeah. But, yeah.
Trust Scalemates. Scalemates isn't always accurate, but it's pretty much there.
Yeah.
See, Black Rifle Model Works just put a good point up there as well. Again, I can see it for me and the missus to go to the cinema and have a bite to eat will cost us around £70. If I spent even half of that on a kit, I definitely get more hours of enjoyment for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, as I said, you just got to look at, people will moan about the price of hobbies, the price of scale modeling, the same way as fishermen will moan about the price of bait going up, or you go to cinema and your popcorn's going up an extra couple of quid. But they just said it's not necessarily that the product's getting expensive, like the plastic. The expense are people who are designing the kits. Airfix have invested much into their social media and their marketing departments.
Yeah.
They've got 5 designers on the books now. Was it 6? I know 1 left, I think. And if you're a record player, a man who likes music, there's certain songs that you will buy, and they come in like a platinum disc box. So you buy it because it's on a platinum disc or something. It's every hobby's the same, and the debate will rage. And people will tut at the price of Airfix. People will tut at the price of Revell. But at the end of the day, if you think it's too expensive, don't buy it. If you think it's a good deal, then you buy it. And if you do buy it, that means those people who work at Airfix or work at Revell or work at Tamiya get to go in the next day and create and build and tool and design, another model that we can buy. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. He's
Yeah.
Black Rifle saying, yeah, it all depends on your process and how much you enjoy building it.
Yeah. Come in, mother.
Yeah. G'day, Brian. Hello. Yeah.
The new Tamiya Martlet is 95% old Wildcat, 35 quid to 20 quid. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, it is a Wildcat, isn't it? The Martlet is a Wildcat. And they just got a different engine in it. Hasn't it got... Or no, they weren't. They were just bought by the UK. Did they have... Oh, I don't know.
That'd be a nice one. Wayne's still there. The 300 SL Gullwing, they're doing a see-through model of it. Different. Gosh. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that, you know, like I've been like over in Thailand there where I'm going, the cost of models is a little bit cheaper, but not a great deal cheaper. I guess they would pay a little bit less in their freight to get it into the country because a bit closer to being part of Asia for all that sort of those kits. I don't know about the European ones, but yeah, and probably save a bit on postage as well. But the problem is for me over there will be the range, getting hold. I mean, there's also eBay, of course, and Lazada is another one that is very popular over there where you can order stuff. But I've never ordered off. I've just gone through shops that are online, have an online presence. You know, I think it must be difficult for store owners to have the shelf space for what's available these days. Even if they keep it out the back in stock, when online is you have to have, if you've got a shop, you've got to have an online presence as well. Yeah, I mean, you know, rents and everything, rents, electricity, everything's going up, not just for the shops that are going to pass it to the customers, but for the customers themselves. You know, I sit here under the bright lights doing the modeling, and I've got computers running, and then you've got the compressor going, we're doing airbrush, and you're thinking, oh God, you know, probably electricity bill might be a bit cheaper if I wasn't doing all this.
That's it. It's everything's an expense. Everything's an expense, and it depends what enjoyment you get out of it, you know. And I do feel for those who are just getting into the hobby because, you know, once you start building the models with the hairy stick, you want to try, you know, you're wondering why you can't get that kind of finish, and so you start looking into the other avenues, and then you watch a video by somebody who's experienced in it, and you're thinking, oh, what's he doing that I'm not doing? Oh, he's got an airbrush. Oh, right, let's go and buy one of them. Then you buy your airbrush, and it works well, and then you think, oh, you know,
stock up on paint.
Yeah, it's you know, yeah, the hobbies, you know, like every hobby, it's as expensive as you want it to be. If you can catch fish with a net, if you want to spend 3 hours just dragging a net through the water, or you can buy a fishing line and some, you know, everything's just an improvement on yourself. But once you get to a certain level where nothing phases you no more, I've seen it. I go to a model show and I see a new tool and I goes, I'll buy that, and I take it home and I look at it and I try it once, and in the end, in that red box, because that's in that red box are the tools, and I've gone back to using a normal sprue cutter, and you know, but yeah. I don't think scale modeling has gone up that much in price, really. There is going to be increases, but you know, they're by and by. So yeah.
I'm going to notice the expense because I've had to give away everything. I can't when I'm in Thailand, I can't take anything.
Why couldn't you take it with you? Couldn't you just put it in a shipping container and then just ship it across?
Way too expensive, and it would probably all be damaged as well. So it's just crazy. Like it was like 80 Australian dollars to send a 5 kilo package, you know, and that's just to get to Bangkok, the main city, let alone to where I'll be. So everything I need is available for me to purchase over there. And at least the advantage is that I know what I want now and what I need. I don't have to go, oh, maybe I'll try these. I know the brands and products I need. I mean, I'm taking a lot of stuff like over, but I can't take glues and paints and stuff like that. But everything else is easily accessible over there, and I think it's going to be quite a popular thing as well. I might mention too that I've just got a nice, fantastic new going away present that should improve my videos in future.
Yeah.
From Samantha, and she's bought me this Nikon Z30. Charging it up now, the second battery in it, and I'm looking forward to producing some better quality videos and using a bloody webcam that I've used in the past. So looking forward to that. But it's like you say, as you go into the hobby, you start upgrading on stuff. All right, that's for obviously YouTube stuff and things, but same goes with your brands and products and your sprue cutters and your different sanding sticks, and you go into the glass files and get those. And but things like glues and they last a long time. They're not really a big investment. Your CA glues and stuff like that can last months and months, so it's not a big investment. James is saying that what you need to do is to do an aircraft. Yes.
Yeah.
I have not built an aircraft yet, and I actually taking 2 Spitfires with me. So yeah, the Edard Spitfire, I'm taking them.
Yeah.
Along with a Formula One car. Yeah, actually the Formula One Brabham car, I actually bought that and bought it back here from Thailand, and now I'm taking it back with me because I want to build it. So, but I think we'll see how it goes with the cost of things over there, and how much that will cost me. It's same with the Icky Sticky products that I've been using here. It covers the whole range of everything I need, and it's all good stuff, and it's great to use. But over there, I'm taking what I can of it. But if I can put in an order once every month or two of bulk, and I mean they do ship around the world, so that's not a problem. It'd be worthwhile getting used to a product you're used to using.
Yeah. I'll like to get hold of that Icky Sticky. I must speak to Jason about that.
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah.
I've been told to have a look at it and see how I get on with it.
What else we got crazy there? It's working. How are you, mate? Wayne Saunders is there. Very good.
Cheer up. Yeah, I'm just really tired today. I've been on the go right from this morning, just and then I've got gigs tomorrow night and on Saturday night to do. I'm just and actually it's quite nice to come and have a chat with Pigs. I've not really caught with him for a while, and see how how it's all going, and because we're going to be missing you, because I suppose you'll be off the air for a month or so until you get yourself sorted. Yeah.
I've actually, because I've done as much. Well, the London bus build is my current build that's going each week, and I have enough videos for the next few weeks.
Oh, good.
In backlog scheduled to be released. I've also made a few other videos. One's about buying a kit, just things you should know when you're thinking of purchasing a kit, researching what you're going to get and all that. And there was another tips video. So I've got a build up of videos to see me out till about, I'd say, the second week in March. So about the second week in March will be when I'll be settled over there. I'll be living in my new place, and I'll have hopefully have a new compressor and things I need to get hold of, and be starting on a fresh kit, which will maybe be either the Formula One car there or the Spitfire. We'll see. Um, yeah, because it's a big thing moving to another country, and yeah, like I say, it's um, this week in particular, and especially when your health's not been on your side lately and causing problems, but yeah, it should be fine. So next Saturday week, I fly out, and then I have a week of in a hotel where I'll in the city in Chiang Mai where I'll be living, and then I'll be able to find a more long-term rental for the next 12 months, and then settle in there and go through all the visa stuff as well. I'm actually getting a retirement visa over there. Once you turn 50, you can apply for a retirement visa, which lets you stay in the country as long as you like. And yeah, and just the overall cost of living. You know, I got sick of the struggle here in Australia and how hard the struggle has gotten much worse and faster. So you know, the cost of the bills going up. So many people living week to week, paycheck to paycheck. I can't do that. I need to have a savings. I need to have that confidence, something to fall back on. But here, the electricity bills doubled, literally doubled in the last 2 years. Prices have gone up in your shopping centres. Everything's gone up. Every time you go there, you see they've got new tags on the shelves because they've changed the prices.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I mean, not to say things haven't gone up in Thailand as well, but it's way half or less than the price of living here.
Yeah. I can imagine. I see you've got a super chat from Crazy Locker. He gave us one on Monday night, so really appreciate your support, Crazy Locker. I'm gonna send you a model kit sometime for your support. I'll email you this week. Is that Wayne? Was it? Did you want to come up on Airfix and Chill? Does he?
Wayne does there, yeah.
Yeah, you can come up. Yeah, he can come up definitely. We'll get him up, Mr. Bismarck.
Yeah. What's this, James? Will I be working in Chiang Mai or in retirement? No, I quit work. My last day of work was on the New Year's Eve this year.
Yeah.
New Year's Day was my last official day. That's it. I finished. I've been planning this for the last 10 years. 10 years ago, I knew I was going to move over there. I've been seriously doing this for the last 5 years in particular, really just saving up for it. And to the point where I was actually planning of retiring in August this year and moving over, but work just suddenly got really a pain in the ass and bad, so I resigned early and just brought all the plans forward. I won't be working over there. I'm going to focus on what I enjoy doing now, which is my hobby. And that is not only building models, but I want to be able to spend the time and try to enjoy more the actual production of it.
Yeah.
The editing and trying to do more of that as well. And I'm also thinking of starting a second YouTube channel as well, which is totally unrelated. It's just about the whole process of moving and retiring in Thailand. So
yeah,
what it involves, what I've going through, and what I will be going through. So yeah. And my parrots have just arrived on the balcony here for their morning breakfast of cookies. The sun's
what are we going to do with them? Where are they going with you or not?
No, they're going to have to stay here, and the new tenants will have to feed them.
Oh dear.
Well, I'll make sure that anyone coming to view the place will come when they're not there. I'm starting to have a couple of huge cockatoos showing up now. they land on the balcony every day now for their cookies as well.
That's right, because I'm going to say you'll end up being the Birdman of Thailand at this rate.
Yeah.
You get there.
Attracting all the wildlife.
Get all the vultures come in.
Yeah, so I'm really looking like here. It's been another thing with when it comes to modeling as well. It's been difficult because in the back of my mind, I know that every model I build, I can't keep for myself, and it's a different mindset when you're building models, knowing that you're going to have to give this away or do something. You can't keep it. So whereas in Thailand, when I'm over there and I'm settled, I know that not only can I keep them if I want, but there's huge number of coffee shops over there. They're everywhere, and they're like 7-Elevens, but coffee shops where I can just walk up and say, "Hey, look, there's a spare shelf up there. Do you want to throw one of those models up there and put it up there, display, and just give it away like that?"
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So what's happening here? What's your day job, Craig's asking?
Oh yeah. I sell online. I'm an antiques and vintage dealer online. So, and I do discos as well at weekends. But yeah, that's my main job. Well, I'm semi-retired really. I just play at it now. I deal in stuff that's pre-1950s retro, all the way back to 18th century, 17th century products and items and candlesticks and wear and tear and stuff like that. So,
gosh, I used to be a DJ for a little while.
Everyone was a DJ, but
I got thrown into it big time. I suppose they were. I worked for a company called Moby Disc, where you had all your. It's nothing like today, I'm sure. You had to find all the music and shit. But oh man, my first gig was a wedding, a big high class wedding in the Queen Victoria building in Sydney. Oh my God! And to make things worse, their MC didn't show up, and they come and asked me to MC the wedding.
Wow!
And I was as nervous as hell. I managed to ring the guy who trained me up to do this, and he managed to come in and cover for me as the MC while I handled the music. Oh, or I worked on a river boat, where it had 3 levels, and there would be 3 different parties. There'd be the bowling club, there'd be a 21st, and then there'd be some other darts club, all different age groups, and you had music to the whole lot. You had to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
What a struggle.
Yeah. Craig Jones has put a comment. Any Only Fools and Horses moments with navigational timepieces? Wow. The closest I've got was when I was first looking for a product. I went to a car boot. There was a woman there, and she had these 2 packs of playing cards with elastic band around them. And I picked up the first one, and they're about this sort of size. Okay, they were made by the United States Playing Card Company, but they were manufactured by another company. And I looked at that and I was thinking, well, United States Playing Card Company haven't, they've been making their own cards for years. They used to, outsource. Anyway, so I paid £2.50 for them and took them home with me. And one set was just garbage, so I threw them away. And the other set, a bit moldy, were old. The jokers were missing, but they're in their case. I've got pictures of it and everything. And so I put a picture of it on a card collectors forum on Facebook. I said, anybody know what they are? And somebody came back and said, yeah, these are the green handlebar deck from 1910 to 1914. They were only actually produced in America for the UK market. And then within minutes, I was getting messages, how much you want to sell them for, blah, blah, 50 quid, £100, £200, £500. In the end, a respectable dealer bought them off me for £1,500.
Wow.
And so it wasn't quite 1.6 million, but allegedly that design of card would have been seen or used on the Titanic, allegedly. So there was a lot of value to them. Now, in hindsight, what I should have done was sold them card by card because people would have wanted a card to go with their card collection. And so that's what I think the dealer did. He bought them off me and then sold them for like £200 a card, sort of thing. And there's 52 in the pack, isn't there? But I was also told that if I had the Jokers with them, there would have been 10 times the value. So, you know, it's that was and that's what made me, and that was what really started it all for me. And I ended up buying more stock and flipping it and selling it, and I've become very passionate about antiques and vintage and a lot of brass and trench art, you know, World War I trench art. I know all that, and you know, so yeah, that's my first job. Like, you know, sorry, Celtic West is just Celtic. But yeah, anyways,
Yeah,
so that's me.
Actually, so did mine. Actually, it was my second one. Yeah, my second wife. I could say that.
Are you going to Thailand?
Yeah, I'm going to Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go there. Jesus. I have plans of staying single for quite a while. I'm not looking for a wife in a hurry. Yeah, so like last year I went over there twice, but I had a girlfriend over there. We were together for we were for 10 years, so long distance relationship, 10 years. But we split up last year.
Oh dear.
So that was quite unexpected. But hey, didn't change my plans. So I just won't be going.
Just won't be moving anywhere near her.
No, well away. Yeah, I learnt my lesson. So
yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, well, I'm going to have to wind up our show here. I've got a doctor's appointment this morning. I get my blood tests and my letters and stuff I need for taking prescription stuff overseas with me and all that. So that should be good.
Could I just quickly shout out, if you haven't gone to Hobby Barnes' YouTube channel yet and left a comment of support and let him know that you're thinking of him. He's not long by what I gather, he's not long for this world. He's still there. He's still with us at the moment, but he's gone home. He's got hospice care with him now, and he's on a ventilator, which is very loud. But can you go over there and give him some love, please? That'll be good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on tonight, Peter. It's interesting, really good.
Oh, you're welcome. No, it's great to have you. And who knows? Next time it'll be even along a different location, maybe. Well, I will be in a different location, but we'll certainly keep things going. But,
mate, I'm happy to get up at 2 a.m. and do a show with you. Definitely.
You are? Well, actually, it would be what time? What time is it where you are now?
It's 8 o'clock at night where I am.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for me to be, so it'd be 4 hours earlier than that. It'd be all right for you. You'd be right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll catch up with the next subject next time. I'll be doing this from Thailand. Yeah. Okay. Good one.
Cheers all. Bye-bye.
I've got to play my music. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. We're going up with us.
Cheers, guys.